Hi everyone, it's Deneen and welcome to my fourth project in my summer of stamping. I'm going to show you how I'm going to take this digital label and I am going to resize it to fill a 7 by 8 1/4 page. So you see here, if you go ahead and drag the edges, it kind of distorts the label and I don't want that. And of course, that's something that I can get around by doing something a little bit different. So I'll show you here what I am going to do. Again, this may be something that can be done easier, but this is how I do it. So I'll share with you my tip and then you can go from there if you'd like. I'm going to go into resize canvas. I'm going to make the height 1.375 because I know that I have to do that in order to fill these labels on my page. I can go ahead and move the top and bottom anchors there because that's not a lot of distortion. Now I will have a new canvas open, and that's my 7 by 8 1/4 canvas. And I'm going to select that canvas and then drag this label in there and place it up in the left-hand corner. That's a 3-inch label. So now I need a 4-inch to be able to span the top. So I'll resize the canvas again. This time I'll work with the width, and I'm going to change it to 4.5 inches wide. It will resize the canvas and not the label. Okay, so now I need to mark where my 4 inches is going to be in order for my label to be the size that I want it to be, which again is 4 inches wide. So I'm going to put the guide at 4 inches, and then I'm going to go up to the rectangular marquee, and I'm going to select the middle of the label, and then I will go ahead up to layer, new, layer via copy, and that made a copy of just the middle of that label. I'll choose the original layer, and then I'm going to go ahead again with the marquee tool, and this time I'm going to select the first half of the layer. I'm going to do new layer via cut. So if you look in the layers panel to the right, you'll see there's a middle, a right, and a left. And I could drag the right and the left, and it will now be 4 inches wide. That label then will get placed into the canvas, and you'll see how it fits perfectly fine right next to the 3-inch label. Okay, so again, I now still have 3 pieces of this particular canvas, and if I want to resize to perhaps, I think this might be 2.5 inches. So you'll see me here trying to get my guide at exactly 2.5 inches, and you'll see that I'm struggling a little bit. I don't always have problems like this, but that's what happens. Eventually I will get it there. Once I get that at 2.5 inches, I will hide the middle layer and drag the right layer over to meet the left layer. And now I have a 2.5 inch label. So now this is 2.5 inches, and you'll see when I drag that in, it is itty bitty. Now, to make up the other portion to go across the page, I need to have a 4.5 inch piece. So I'll drag that right side over there. I'll make the middle appear again, and now I have a 4.5 inch piece, and it fits there. So I'll continue to do this with all different sizes until I am done filling this page. Other things that I am going to do before I print this out, I am going to recolor the outsides, and I haven't chosen colors yet, so let's just kind of see what it looks like if we play with one of these labels. Let's choose a bright color. I will go into my paint bucket and click on the border. It will ask me, do I want to simplify? I'll say yes. And if I re-click, it becomes a bright green. You could see the color difference there. The next label that I want to work with is the large one at the top. Again, I will select that layer. I will go into choose a color. This time I'll choose like a yellow or something, or a green. Whatever color you choose, you'll click OK. When you click the paint bucket, you will click on the border. It will ask you to simplify it. You'll say yes, and you will recolor the outside. So there are the top 2 with different colors. And I'm going to go ahead and continue filling this page. You guys have any questions about this, let me know. Once I'm done filling the page and recoloring, I will meet you back at my desk to see how I'm going to work with this particular page of labels. Okay, so this is my printed finished product. Not only did I recolor the labels and filled the page, but I also added some journaling to half of the labels. On the other labels that are blank, that is where I'm going to do my stamping. Using this week, it is a letter set from Ali Edwards. The Alphas Are Awesome stamp set number 3. Love this chunky font. So I'm going to work with that set, and then I chose Otter Rock ink because I did add some colors there, and I was afraid that I can get too bright here, so I kind of chose a muted color. So let's get started, and we're going to do some stamping. I'm going to stamp some numbers, 1 through 6. So you'll see here, I'm just inking everything up, and I am just stamping out the words of the numbers. So instead of actually using numbers here, I decided that I was going to write or stamp out the actual words. I did my best to kind of resize these labels to fit the letters, assuming that each letter was about 1 inch wide. Some are a little more, some a little less, but I think it came out pretty good. Now, you could let it go exactly as it was. Cut off the sides, make sure everything's even, punch holes in it, and you're done. I, however, love to add some dimension. So what you'll see here is me taking the extra step to cut out each one of these labels and then to adhere them to another piece of cardstock. Once again, this is something that I love to do. I find it cathartic and I find it enjoyable. And if you don't, you are perfectly fine just using the page as is. What you'll see here is me cutting off the corners as I am sticking them on the page and trimming off anything that's hanging over. I'm going to place this transparency on top. The Good Times was cut out with my Cameo in vinyl and placed on the transparent piece. Here you'll see with my photos, I am actually going ahead and I'm punching holes in each of the photos. I wanted to experiment here. I didn't need to. I could have totally just used white circles, but I felt like trying that out. Don't know if I would do it again because I don't think it makes a visual difference. But hey, you know what? If you don't try, you'll never know. Putting a chipboard star next to each number. Now I will put these pieces down permanently because originally I used temporary adhesive to start. So some pieces I will just put permanent adhesive on the back and others I will use foam. Some of them will get some dimension and some of them will not. So I'm kind of not sure at this point whether I'm going to do anything else. I usually do. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that often the finished product has a few more bells and whistles on it. And I very well might do that here. And that was what I was thinking about. And when you see the finished product, you'll see that I did. So as we move over to that, you'll see that in addition to, there we go, in addition to the Good Times, I put a star and 2 phrases. And then on the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I stamped some phrases. And this is what it looks like when everything is laying flat without the transparency. So this was kind of a fun thing to put together, a great way to use your letter stamps to make numbers. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks for following along with me, and we will see you in the next video. Have a great day.